Shalom. All praises to the Most High. Anoka said, praise be to the earthly mother, the Pachamama, and all of her earthly angels, the Erkadeshoe. Praise be to the Holy Spirit, the Kahe, and the name of his only begotten Son, Motsah the Lamb, unification to the nation. Okay, so I said I wanted to make a little bit of a video because I was, while I was scanning the book, I saw something that was interesting and I wanted to touch on it. So right here, this is the Habsburg or the Habsburg family. And these are this is the family of people who actually colonized us as a people here in the Americas. And let me see, can I find it? Yep, Charles V. Look right there at the top left. You have Isabella of Portugal and Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor. And you'll see that there's been a lot of incest that has occurred with these red-headed people. The scriptures do not lie when it talks about the violence against your brother Jacob, because what these people have done to us as a people has been anything but friendly, anything but passive. They've all been about violence and hatred and killing us. They hate us with a passion. Why? Because they're Edom. They're our twin brother. But in this book, it shows you that they did not look like that. Not trying to show no private chats or nothing. Let's see. So let's read this real quick. And this is why you guys cannot get hijacked. It's not all about blackness. Just because you see a black face, that does not mean that that is your ally. These black people came and slaughtered us here, slaughtered the Indians. I don't know about anyone else, but, I come from the Americas, whether that's 100 years removed, 1,000 years removed, however, I still originate here. I know that these are my homelands. I know that these are my people here. So when I read certain things about how these Holy Roman emperors who are black and look like this person, and what their lineage and their seed line did to my people, I'm not going to feel at home with blackness. You have to have the critical thinking to know that not all skin folk are kinfolk. And not all kinfolk are skin folk. Why doesn't anyone say that in reverse? Not all, just because someone shares your skin color, that doesn't mean that they're your kin. But just because someone doesn't share your skin color or your phenotype, that doesn't mean that they aren't either. But let's read this. This is the image or snapshot that comes to us from antiquity of the blackness of Avignon popes that moved their residency from the papal estates in Rome to come under the protection of the Black French or Frankish King Charles V. Wait a minute. So now this person's he's gonna paint Charles V in a good light because of how he perceives race and nationhood. But when I was a child, I played games, but now it's time to put away childish things, and I understand that's an allegory talking about the law of Aaron and the law of Hamashiach. I understand that, but you can apply that for how people look at so-called race and nationhood. It has always been about your paternal lineage. Now, of course, that has been lost. No one knows what that is, so we go by the spirit. Those are our records now, right? Now we don't know who anyone is. Now everyone's mixed up to a point where you don't really know who anyone is. You have some of Israel who look literally just like a white person because they have been lost for longer than any acquisitions that occurred 500 years ago. They were lost from way before then. So you don't really know. I always go by the spirit, in any situation. You don't know. The white people are not the original look of the Israelites, not by any means, but we have people among them. So let's not judge people as individuals. I only talk about white people on my channel from a historical standpoint. I'll talk about black people from a historical standpoint. But Just because it's history, that doesn't mean that it's modern. Everything that's modern, that belongs to the Most High. You know, meaning alone. Everything belongs to the Most High. But history, you know, we can look at records and things of that sort. But if you want to know things for the present and the future, that's not my domain. Not at all. And with history, I only know whatever the Most High shows me. You know, so these black popes had to move to France because of the tide of racial hate that had begun to spread across the continent of Europe. On hindsight, their departure from Rome signaled the beginning of the coming 100-year race wars in Europe. In English, the genocide of the black European. So now he's going to defend the black European just because he's black. Does that make any sense? No, not if you know what these individuals did, because then you'll stop saying, well, oh, well, these were black brothers, and you'll start saying these are some murderous bastards. It turns into that real quick. Black Holy Roman Emperor King Leopold I. This is how he looked, right? Curly, knotty hair. The Habsburgs in Europe are now white, and that's what I was showing before. These are the Habsburgs. This is not how these people looked originally. Now, after after we were getting taken down, then it was time for all the dark Shemites to pretty much intermix with the white peoples, with the Gentiles, so that they can hide among them. Some of them probably hiding among us today. In fact, no, I know that they're hiding among us today. So you don't know who anyone is. And of course you see how they engage in a bunch of incest. This image was taken off of a coin that was minted by King Leopold of himself, and he had himself depicted as a black man with nappy locks. See the next page for an image of his mother, Maria of Austria. See this? This is his mother. So-called black woman, right? When I say Edom looked just like us, I truly mean that, bro. I truly mean that. Now, did all of Edom look like us? No, that's not true. Some of Edom look like so-called white people from the get-go. From the get-go. As you already went over, the Horites were white peoples. They were white, who intermixed with Edomites. Those people, probably the so-called Jews. The face rats with the small hats. Probably them today. The other Edomites, I have no idea. Among us, some intermix with the so-called white European population, as it seems. This is Queen Maria Habsburg of Austria, who just so happens to be the mother of King Leopold I. And so far, the entire family is black. I want you to go to the next page to see an image of Maria Habsburg's father and King Leopold I's grandfather, Charles V. So this is a family of murderers. And this is supposed to be the recent descendant of the Habsburgs. I don't know if that's it's the truth or not, because some people say that the entire seed line has been decimated. Of course, that's not true, but I don't know if anyone can prove that that's where they're from. But his last name is Habsburg. If he truly is, then he descends from the bastards that did what they did to us as a people. So for people who say, oh no, Edom is black. No, Edom is white. Edom is both. It's both. What did Columbus come to do? I read this before, I'll read it again. The first sentence of the Libro proclaims its purpose. Here begins the book or handbook of sources, statements, opinions, and prophecies on the subject of the recovery of God's holy city and Mount Zion, and on the discovery and evangelization of the islands of the Indies and all other peoples and nations. To Ferdinand and Isabella, and it says Elizabeth, but it's Isabella, etc., are Hispanic rulers. Who are that? right there. Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. So they came to what? Seize Jerusalem, seize Mount Zion. Where'd they go? South America. Now, I wanted to quickly go over the concept of a duke because I found it very weird. In fact, I even went to the Strong's Concordance because I was just like, I don't understand. Why is the word duke used? Right? And I looked it up in Hebrew. It says aloof. It means a familiar, a friend, also gentle, hence a bullock, being as tame, although masculine to a cow, and so a chieftain, as notable like neat cattle, captain, duke, chief, friend, governor, guide, or ox. So it can be one or the other. It can mean some sort of cattle or animal, or it can mean some sort of chief or, uh, captain, right? So let's see what a duke is. A duke can be either a monarch ranked below the emperor, king, and grand duke ruling over a duchy, or a member of royalty or nobility, historically of highest rank below princes of nobility and grand dukes. The title comes from French duc itself, from the Latin dux, or leader, a term used in Republican Rome to refer to a military commander without an official rank, particularly one of Germanic or Celtic origin. Now we know that the Edomites were in Ireland along with us. Everyone in Ireland were not Israelites, bro. All the Celtics were not Israelites. That's like saying all the Phoenicians were Israelites. And later coming to mean the leading military commander of a province. In most countries, the word duchess is the female equivalent. So the word duke, it means pretty much the second in command underneath the king, right? Now, if you remember the story of Esther, what was Haman? Haman was an Edomite, and he was in second in command underneath the Assyrian king. That is kind of what Edom is. He's kind of the opportunist. I don't think he ever really had an empire. I think mainly he's just been supplying the empires, funding the empires, sitting in the back, hiding in the cut pretty much. That's his thing. He likes to get at us through different means. It's very conniving, it's very sneaky. But I believe in the book of Joshua, it kind of and in the Bible, it kind of pronounces that this is his personality, because the word duke is never used in the Bible only to refer to the Horites and the Edomites. And the Horites, as we went over, were the red-headed, white, cave-dweller troglodytes, and the Edomites were just a Shemitic, red-skinned, red-headed group of people. They intermixed, But look, you only see the dukes of Edom or Esau or the Horites. You never see any other nation. So I might have to do a little bit of digging, and the fact that maybe the Assyrian captivity truly did occur in Europe. It just seems that way to me. So that's pretty much all I have. I just wanted to do that little video real quick to remind you guys to do critical thought. Don't get caught in hijacks. Stop listening to doctrine made by man. May peace be with you. Selah.